like I said, we're going to have a practical demonstration of, you know, how to conduct a multivariate normality test using the R software. So that is going to be the focus of our lecture today. So I'm going to share the screen with you right now. I will advise that you also open your uh, our software interface, because I'm actually going to be walking you through how to have a practical demonstration of that in R. Okay. Can you guys see my screen right now?
Yes.
Okay. Like I said, welcoming you to my lecture today. Uh, the topic is assessing multivariate normality in R. Uh, if you can remember, I've walked you through the theoretical development of multivariate normality uh, uh, in class, but today we want to see how we can do that in R. Okay, so in the outline today, I'm actually going to talk about univariate normality test and univariate plot. Okay, I'm also going to talk about multivariate normality test. Then from there, we're going to move to inferences about a single vector mean, about a single mean vector. Then, uh, then we got from the inferences about a single mean vector. I'm actually going to walk you through how to carry out multivariate test of means and the confidence simultaneous confidence interval. Okay, so I'm going to start with the univariate normality plot and test, because we actually want to see the difference uh, between this. Okay, so between univariate normality plot and the multivariate normality plot. Okay, so I'm actually going to go to my R interface right now. Just a quick reminder of how to do QQ plot in R. Okay, let me tell you this. What is the function of QQ plot? You know, the QQ plot will enable you to ascertain uh, the whether your data set is normally distributed or not. Okay, so if I have a univariate uh, data set, okay, how do I actually uh, know the probability distribution of the test? How do I know whether it follows normal probability distribution or not? Okay, so what I'm trying to showcase right here, uh, the data set that I want to use, I actually want to simulate that data set from R. Okay, I'm simulating from normal distribution. Okay, so why am I simulating from normal distribution? Is because, of course, simulating from a normal distribution, when I draw the QQ plot, of course, the QQ plot should show us what the normal distribution should look like, because the data set that I'm actually using right here is from normal distribution. Okay, so I set a seed. Why do I set a seed? Because if I generate 20 data point randomly from a normal distribution with mean 1.5 and standard deviation 3, okay, when if another person should do that, we're going to have different kind of data sets. And the essence of putting a set seed is just to make sure that I want to use the same data set, okay, all the time, okay? So I'm going to show you how, and what you see right here is a, the QQ norm, okay? The QQ norm for the DV, okay? So, and okay, I think this one, give me 1 second. Um, let me quickly correct. So this should go down. Okay, I think I've corrected that now. I'm gonna go back to my share because that should go down. Okay, this is what I need right now. Okay, so I'm going to copy this into R right now, and we're going to see how it's going to look like in R. Okay, I'm going to. Can you guys see my screen right now?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to copy that into R right now. Uh, can you guys see my R interface?
Yes.
Okay, now like I said, I'm actually going to copy that now into R to be able to see what we're going to get. Okay, so I'm going to copy that right now. Okay, I put set.seed into 123 and the V. If you want to have access to, if you want to see your data, I can actually click on the V, and these are my data set. Then my data set that I've artificially generated from HAL. Okay, so I'm going to come here right now. I'm going to copy the code. Then I'm going to put that there. Now I've copied the code right now. Then I'm going to copy the last one. Yeah, the something is in right now. Okay. Now let us see what we got. Let's see what we got. Can you guys see that now?
Yes.
Okay, so this is normal QQ plot. Okay, so this is a normal QQ plot. Okay, so for univariate, okay, in a normal QQ plot, we actually want to see a straight line like this. Okay, though we don't expect all the data point to be on the line, because if all the data points on the line, we're talking about perfect normal. Okay, we don't necessarily the data set do not necessarily need to follow uh, perfectly. I mean, to be on a straight line. We don't want all the data point to be on the all the data point cannot be on the straight line, because if all the data point are on the straight line, we're talking about perfect normal distribution. But the way it is right now, I think this is approximately normal distribution. Okay, so that is what this is actually uh, talking about. Okay, now the next thing that I'm gonna go back to my material right now. Okay, I'm gonna go back to the material now. Everyone know how to do univariate normality plot. Okay, now let's now go to test. Why do we need to talk about the univariate normality test? Because of the fact that it's not every one that know how to read a plot. Okay, so and that's why we want to have a standard test to do that. Okay, we got so many ways to investigate normality. Okay, the first one is what we call the Shapiro-Wilk test of normality. Okay, now, well, let me just show you. We have Shapiro-Wilk test. Okay, we have Adamson-Darling test. Okay, we have a Kramer-Van-Mises test. Okay, all these are tests of normality. Okay, so we have a Shapiro-Francia test. Okay, we got Jakubera test. Okay, we got Kolmogorov-Simonov test. Okay, and we got a Lilliefors test. Okay, so what I'm going to take you to now, I'm going to be running them one by one. Okay, all these are univariate normality tests. Okay, I'm going to walk you through this one by one. Okay, I'm going to have a new share now. I'm going to share my R interface now. Okay, so I'm going to copy the Shapiro wiki now. I'm going to do that of Shapiro wiki test based on what we have. Okay, so let's see. Okay, can you guys see the results of the Shapiro wiki test now?
Yes.
Okay, so when you look at the p-value right here, the p-value here is going to be compared with the level of significance. Okay, the level of significance is 5%, which is 0.05. Okay, so the p-value here is greater than 0.05, and this is suggesting that the data set is normally distributed. Okay, because the non-hypothesis is actually going to be the distribution of the data set is normal. Okay, alternative hypothesis is going to be the distribution of the data set is not normal. Okay, and since the p-value is greater than 0.05, then we're actually going to conclude that by Shapiro wiki test, the distribution of the normal set, of the data set is normal. Okay, um, I'm going to copy the other one now, the other test, because at times we may not have agreement between these tests, and there are conditions under which we can use any of these tests of normality. Okay, now if I want to do what is it called? The next test that I want to run right now, Adamson-Darling test, you need to install non-test. Okay, you need to install non-test. Okay, package. Okay, so and then you need to load that from your library. Okay, then after that it's actually going to run. And let me tell you something. For Shapiro wiki test, you don't need to load any package in R. Okay, that is actually going to be automatically run. But for Adamson-Darling test, okay, you actually need to load a package library, no test. Okay, you need to load that. So if I run that one now, can you see the result of Adamson-Darling?
Yes.
Okay, so if you look at the Adamson-Darling, the p-value is 0.6548. You can see that the Shapiro wiki test and the Adamson value p-value are not the same. Okay, but you know what? You're actually going to take the same decision using the two based on this data set, because the two p-value here are strictly greater than the 0.05 level of significance. Okay, so I'm going to go into Kramer Van Mises test right now. And for the Kramer Van Mises test, I need to load well, I need the package, not test. Okay, the same package that I load for a dancing darling is what I'm actually going to load for the next test. Okay, so I don't need to load that one again. I already package. I'm just going to write the code. Okay, so that is written as cvm.test. Okay, if I click on that, can you see the result now? Okay, the p-value is also greater than 0.05. So you can see the three tests of normality here actually agree with one another. Okay, they fail to reject the non-hypothesis. Okay, uh, the non-hypothesis is just that, okay, the distribution of the data set right here is normal. Okay, so I'm going to go into the other one. So I'm going to go into Shapiro Francia test. Okay, we are still under univariate test of normality. Okay, so I'm going to plug in that one out. Now, can you see that now? So if you want to do Shapiro Francia test, okay, you actually need to load package not test. Okay, you need to load the package not test. Okay, as you can see, the p-value now still agree with the p-values of others. Okay, now I'm going to go to the next one now. uh is the next one that I want to write is Jacobera test. This Jacobera test is very popular in time series. Okay, if you are working with time series data, Jacobera test is very, very important. Okay, so what I'm going to do right now, okay, which is required to load a package, a package called T series. Okay, uh, if you want to run the Jacobera test of normality. Okay, so I'm going to load the package. This is a package T series. Okay, and the code is jacu.bera.test. My data is still DV, and as you can see right here, the Jacobera p-value is even higher. It's higher than every other one. Okay, so there are situations, particularly in time series. If you want to test, uh, if you want to conduct a normality test in time series, okay, I will advise that you use a Jacobera test. It's more appropriate. Okay, so and as you can see right here, it took the same decision with others by failing to reject the non-hypothesis. Okay, now the next test I want to run that is also popular is what we call Kolmogorov-Smirnov test. Okay, Kolmogorov-Smirnov test. Okay, Kolmogorov-Smirnov test is also very important in statistical analysis. If you want to run that, you don't need to load any package, and it's actually going to run. Now, take a look at the Kolmogorov-Smirnov test. Okay, the Kolmogorov-Smirnov test also took the same decision as others. Okay, so uh, that is so I'm going to go into the last one now, and then the last one is actually going to be Lilliefors test. So the Lilliefors test is also a test of it's a univariate normality test. Okay, so it's a univariate normality test. I'm actually going to now you can see the Lilliefors test right now. This is the code. And it also took the same decision of not rejecting the non-hypothesis. Now, these are all the available, the univariate normality tests. Okay. Now, before I move to multivariate, okay, before I move to multivariate, is there anyone who want to ask question? Okay. Uh, Silence implies that you guys are good. I'm actually going to go into the multivariate. I'm going to stop my share. I'm going to have a new share now. Okay. I'm going to have a new share now. Okay. Yeah. Can you guys see the material right now? Can you guys
Yes.
see? Okay, thank you.
Yes, I
Now,
can see the slides.
you can see the slide. Okay, thank you for that. Okay, the next thing that we actually want to talk about is to talk about the R code for multivariate normality test. Okay, I've walked you through univariate normality test. Okay, and I want to walk you through multivariate normality test. You know, we started the multivariate normal distribution the other time. Okay, and how do we actually, if I have a set of data set, okay, if I have a multivariate data set, okay, collected uh, over several variables, okay, and I actually want to use, um, maybe I want to work on the principal component, or I want to work on factor analysis, or I want to work on discriminant analysis, and so on like that. Okay, there are underlying assumptions. Okay, and the assumptions is that the variables are to be uh, monthly. It has to be jointly normally distributed. Okay, that is the assumption. Okay, so how do I investigate whether these variables are are jointly normally distributed? And that is the essence of this test that we actually want to do right now. Okay, the first test of the day is what we call energy test. Okay, energy test is one of the tests, one of the multivariate normality tests. You know, just like the way I walk you through different kind of univariate normality tests, okay, we also have different kind of multivariate normality tests. Okay, now take a look at what I have right here. I want to generate my data set. Okay, I want to generate my data set from normal distribution. Okay, and then I want to generate three variables. Okay, I want to generate three variables. Okay, and you know what? If I want to generate multivariate, you know, I told you uh, the last time when we were having our lecture that I'm actually going to walk you through how you can also simulate a multivariate normal distributions. Okay, how you can simulate data set from multivariate normal distribution. Okay, so right here, if you want to do that, I need to specify my mu vector. Okay, this is like the mean of the first variable, the mean of the second variable, the mean of the third variable. Okay, now this is sigma. The sigma here is just talking about the variance covariance. Okay, so uh, this is 4 2 minus 3 is going to be the first row of the variance covariance. 216 minus 1 is the second row of the variance covariance, and minus 3 minus 1 9 is the third row. Okay, I'm going to specify that the number of column is 3. Okay, and when I do that, okay, I need to I need to have a package. Okay, the package is going to be nvt num. Okay, if you want to have access to the energy test, if you want it to run, you need to load a package. Okay, you need to load this package. Okay, library nvt num. Okay, then X, this is the data set that I actually want to, you know what, it's just going to be, so it means I want to generate a multivariate data set, okay, from, you know, multivariate normal distribution in R, okay. I want to generate 100 of that, you know, using the mu, you know, the mu vector right here, and the sigma, the variance covariance right here, okay. When I do that, then I need to also load another package called energy, okay, and that is what I'm actually used to run the test. Okay, the package that I actually load here is just for me to be able to generate from the data set from multivariate normal in R. Okay, now this is a code. I'm actually going to walk you this code one by one. Okay, so I'm going to stop my share right now, and I'm going to go to the arrow interface. Yeah, this is my arrow interface. Okay. So we want to continue. Let me clear this one. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to copy that one now. Give me 1 second. I'm trying to copy that out. Okay, I've copied that now. I'm going into my arrow interface. Can you guys see what I copied into R now?
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much. Now, if I want to see my sigma, which is the variance covariance, okay, I'm actually gonna click on that. Now, can you see it is 3 by 3? Okay, 4 here, 4, 16, 9. Those are the variances. Okay, 4 is the variance of the first variable. 16 is the variance of the second variable, and 9 is the variance of the third variable. And why the off diagonals are the covariances. Okay, now I got this right now. Okay, now the next thing now is to go into my data. Like I said, I'm going to load a library. I'm going to load a package called mvt num. Okay, so I'm going to copy that into R right now. Can you see that now? I load the package, and let me now see my data set. Okay, let me look at my data set. Oh, can you see my data set now? So this is going to be 100 by 3. Okay, this is going to be 100 by 3. Now, let me tell you this. You know, this is a multivariate data set now. So what I'm trying to tell you right now, this multivariate data set, this is the variance covariance of it. Okay, this is a covariance matrix for this data set. Okay, you know, in statistics, we can have a way when you are given a multivariate data set, you can actually you can actually generate your covariance matrix. Okay, but do you know also from the covariance matrix and the mean vector, you can also generate the data set. Okay, you know, it's just like you put some water, okay, in the refrigerator. Okay, the water is going to change from maybe liquid, you know, to solid. I think you know that, and to gas. That's what I mean. So by the time you bring the water out of the refrigerator, okay, it's going to go back to its original form. That is exactly what we're doing right here. Okay, so I've been able to show you right now how you can actually generate multivariate data set, okay, from a normal distribution. Okay, now this is a multivariate data set, and let me tell you something. We already know that these data set are, you know, are from multivariate normal distribution. Okay, let's now pretend. Okay, let us pretend as if we don't know. Okay, we want to pretend as if we don't know, and we want to use an energy test. Okay, we want to see whether the energy test is actually going to tell us whether it is from normal or not. Okay, so if the energy test tell us that it's not from normal, then that very test is not good. Okay, because we know that these data set are actually simulated from normal distribution. Okay, and that is the reason why we have different kind of tests that we can run. Okay, there are in some situations some may not be appropriate. Okay, now you can see my data set now. Then I want to, you know, load my package for the energy test so that I will be able to run it. Okay, so I'm going to copy that now into R, and you guys are going to see what I'm talking about. Okay, I've copied that into R. Okay, uh like I said, if I want to have access to energy test, I actually need to four of us load uh you know a package called energy, which I've already loaded right here. Okay, now if you look at this test now, everything is good, but there's something that is missing. Look at that p-value. Okay, the p-value is not available right here. Okay, now it means if you want to take a decision using this, you actually need to use your f statistic value. Okay, when the f statistic value is very, very small, okay, it of course it's telling you you can't reject the non-hypothesis, because if you get a critical score value of f, okay, if you get a critical score value for f, this guy right here is going to be less than that, because this is very, very small. Okay, now this is using the, yeah, and as you can see here, the p-value is not available for this particular data set. Okay, now if I want to do the if I want to run a different multivariate test, now another popular test that we can where we have around is called give me one sec, it's called a Madia-Kurtosis test. Okay, Madia-Kurtosis test is a test of multivariate. Okay, it's a multivariate normality test. Okay, so I'm going to copy that into R now for you to see. Okay, take a look at this. This is what we call Madia-Kurtosis test. Okay, the error here. Okay, let me recopy that so that I don't want an error. Okay, I'm gonna put this one here now, and I'm gonna put this guy here, then enter. Okay, so that is a test. Then, like I said, I'm gonna load my library. Okay, the library, if I want to have access to, if I want to run Madia-Kurtosis test of multivariate test, normality test, I need to load a package called quant-psych. Okay, I need to load a library called quant-psych. Okay, so I've loaded something now. Then I'm gonna copy my code right now to run that. Okay, can you see the result now? Can you see can you see my result right now?
Yes.
Okay, so this is Madia-Kurtosis test of Kurtosis multivariate normal test and multivariate normality test. Okay, and it's going to give us two results. Okay, because this particular test is actually the Madia is basing its test on skewness and kurtosis. Okay, you know, um, when a distribution has a skewness of 0, okay, or when a data set has a skewness, that is not significantly different from 0, then those set of data set are more or less normally distributed. Okay, and then because the skewness of a normal distribution is 0, and the kurtosis of a normal distribution is 3. Okay, and that is the reason why this guy right here is actually basing this test on the skewness and kurtosis. Okay, so looking at the p-value associated with the skewness is this is 0.054. Okay, which is slightly greater than the 0.05 level of significance. Okay, and then when you try but what this guy is actually using right here, is using the chi-square critical value of a 0.001. Okay, and of course, any of this is actually greater than that. Okay, any of this is actually greater than that. Okay, so by skewness, you can see the result by kurtosis. So the Madia kurtosis test is actually going to give you two p-value. Okay, because it's going to use skewness and kurtosis. Okay, now I'm going to take you through another multivariate test, and that one is called kurtosis and skew test. Okay, kurtosis and skew test. So I will quickly copy that one. Yeah, I showed you before. I'm going to copy that one now. Okay, it's running. Okay, so I've copied that right now. The essence of the error here is just that, there's no problem. He just asking me to put something here and something here. No problem about that. Okay, so if you want to have access to this test, you need to load a package called ICS. Okay, when you load a package called ICS, then you can run it using this code. Okay, when you run it, this is the result. Okay, and look at the p-value right here. Okay, the p-value right here is 0.1603, which is greater than level of significance. So this is the kurtosis version. Like I said, uh, this test too has kurtosis and skewness version, just like the same thing with the Madia. Okay, so this is the kurtosis version. Okay, and this guy here is the skewness version. Okay, as you can see, the two of them we are also rejecting the non-hypothesis. Okay, so that is as far as the kurtosis and the skew test multivariate normality is concerned. Okay, now those are the multivariate normality tests. I'm going to stop the share right now. I'm going to take you back. I'm actually going to take you back to the material so that we'll be able to show you that we've actually done justice to to that. Okay, so as you can see in the material right now. Okay, so you can see that I've walked you through all this in the material. So energy test, the Madia kurtosis test, the skewness, and the skew test. So I've run, we've done this right now. Okay, and then the next thing I'm actually I'm gonna walk you through now. Now we are done with the test, but I want to walk you through the inferences about a single mean vector. Okay, we started a topic yesterday that we call the inferences about a single mean vector in R. Okay, how do we run a multivariate test of mean? Okay, you already know univariate test of mean. How do we run a multivariate test of mean in R? Okay, before I move to the multivariate test of mean, is there anyone who want to ask question about the multivariate normality test?
Do we need to know the details of different tests?
Can you say that again? Do we need to know what?
The details of the different tests. So should we derive the formula of each test? Or
no, you don't need to derive the formula. These are already coded in R automatically. The only thing you just need to do is to put your data. Now let me show you. If you want to, this is your data right here, X. Okay. If I give you some set of data now, okay, your set of data your set of data is going to be X. Okay. When I was showing you the other time about your X is going to be the, you have to arrange your data set in matrix form. Let me show you some. I'm going to show you something right now. I want you to see how your data set is actually going to look like in R. I'm going to show you right now. So you don't need a formula. What you just need is, your data set. Okay. So the formula, in R, it has already been programmed. All the formula have been programmed. Okay. So I'm going to show you something right now. Okay. Now the X here is my data. Look at the data right here. You remember the other time that we were working on NFL 2014 data, NFL. Okay. Now, the NFL data, if I'm taking 3 variables, like this is the first set of variable, maybe this is the height, maybe this is the weight, and so on like that. Okay. This is your data set. So the only thing you need, okay, is just your data set. Okay. The moment you have your data set, you are good. You don't need to care about the formula. Do you understand now?
Thanks. So we only need to know how to modulate the package in the course, right?
Exactly.
Okay, thanks.
So you need to know how to how to use the code, okay? Because you're going to be working with a lot of data set, okay? So if you're giving like thousands of data set or something like that, of course, that is the reason why we need to make use of a software. Although we have a way to do that manually, but when you have a lot of data set, it's going to take forever, to figure that out, okay? So the essence of a software is to aid our computation, okay? Is to save time and to deliver result on time. You understand what I mean? Okay, so if there is no any other question, I'm actually going to go to the inference, how to conduct. I'm going to show you right now. Okay, so the next thing that we want to talk about is inferences about a single main vector in R. Okay, inferences about a single main vector in R. Okay, I walk you through uh, some data set yesterday. Okay, and you're going to see that now. Now, somebody asked about a formula the other time. There are situations where we don't write formula. Like if you take a look at what I have right here, you can see that you did not see any formula, but the only thing you see is a code. Okay, but it is not in every test, okay, that we can actually have a code like that. Okay, at times we could also write formula. Okay, where we are now, okay, we actually want to make an inference about a single mean vector in R. Okay, so here we have to write a formula. Okay, now if you take a look at this is the formula. Anything that you want to do, if you want to carry out a multivariate test. Now let me tell you the kind of test you actually want to carry out. Yesterday I was talking about the 10 best companies in the whole world. Let's assume that we are working on the 10 best companies in the whole world, okay? And we collected data set based on three things, okay? Let me, give me 1 second. I'm going to share my screen, my whiteboard right now, okay? Maybe on 10 selected best company in the world. Can you guys see my whiteboard now?
Yes.
Okay. Now, on 10 best selected companies in the world, okay? If we collect three variables from these 10 best selected companies in the world, maybe the first variable, maybe I collect something on the volume of on the volume of sales, volume of sales, okay, in volume of in $1 billion, okay, and then maybe another variable that I actually want to collect from all these company is profit, okay, their profit over the years in billions of dollars, okay, in billions of dollars, okay, and then I go in, maybe I collect the top variable, maybe it's on assets, okay, assets in billions of dollars, okay, assets in billions of dollars, okay. I think you guys can see that right now. Okay, so of course I'm actually going to have a 10 by 3, depending on the number of years that I collect that, right? I got three variables, okay. Now, you know, maybe I want to test, maybe there's a threshold that, okay, can I compare, maybe there's a threshold for this, that, okay, if a company is good, okay, that should the true average volume of sales, maybe it should be a certain value. If a company is good, the the profit in $billion should be a certain value. I'm talking about on average. And if a company is good, then the asset in $billion should worth a particular threshold. Okay. Now, from these 10 best selected companies, let's assume that we now want to test an hypothesis. And the hypothesis that we want to test is a vector. Okay. We are testing, you know, we are actually testing, okay, whether by trying to, we're going to get a sample mean right here. This the sample mean here and the sample mean here. So it's like we actually want to test the deviation between the sample mean and the threshold. Okay, we want to test the deviation between the sample mean and the threshold. Okay, so when you are trying to do that, okay, you are doing a multivariate test. And let me tell you something. If you really want to do that, then you actually, oh, give me 1 second. I think I need to, this thing is going down. Okay, everything is fine now. Everything looks good now. Okay, so I'm going to stop this sharing now. Now you have the background of what we're trying to do. Okay, now I'm going to take you back to the code. Okay, there's some formula you saw yesterday. Now the formula is already here. Okay, the formula is here. Okay, if you want to do anything about inferences about single mean vector, okay, this is what you will actually need to write. Okay, this is what you will actually need to write. This is a formula. Okay, now when I write this one now, the next thing I'm going to do after copying that into R, okay, I'm actually going to go into the data. Now this is the data set that I actually want to use. Okay, so if this is the data set I actually want to use, okay, if I want to have access to this data set, it could, I'm actually need to write a data empty cows. I don't need to load any package. I'm going to have access to the data set that I want to use. Then after that, I'm going to carry out the test. Okay. Now the test right here, when you want to carry out the test, you actually need to have an hypothesized vector mean. Okay. These are hypothesized values of the vector mean. Okay. These are hypothesized. This is when I call the threshold the other time. Okay. So when I copy this one into R, it's actually going to run. Okay. Let me walk you back. Let me go back again. Take a look at that. This is a formula. You're going to copy this one. You're going to see me copying this one right now. Okay. Now I'm going to copy that right now into R. You're going to see the way I'm going to do that now. Now, going back to my R interface. Okay, so I'm going back to my arrow interface right now. Okay, let me clear it. Okay, now go to the arrow interface right now. So I'm actually going to copy. I want to copy my formula first. Okay, I've copied that now. Then I'm going to copy that into R. Now take a look at that. Can you guys see what I copy now?
Yes.
Okay, so that is what you're going to do. You're actually going to copy that. Okay, so we already have the test function. So this is a test function. The test function is actually derived from the formula. Okay, now after that, I'm actually going to go back the data set that I want to use. Okay, for some of you that are in biostatistics or psychology or whatever, your data set could be any, Okay, so data set is data set. Okay, so the same way I'm going to, so right here, the data set that I want to use is empty car. So I'm actually going to copy that now. I think this is a data set on displacement. It has to do with the speed of a car. It has to do with the mile per gallon and stuff like that. So I'm going to copy that into R now. Okay, I already have that in R. Okay, so this data set that I want to use are 4 variables, mpg mile per gallon, displacement, HP, and speed. Okay, can you see that now? Okay, if I want to see the data, I'm going to just write X, click on Enter. Can you see now? Oh, the experimental unit, it means I collected the data over 4 variables on different mode of cars. Can you see that now? Mazda, RS4, and so on like that. Okay, your data set is going to look like this. Okay, now do you know what we want to test? Okay, what we actually want to test is we actually want to test you know, whether the value of the true value of the mean, the true mean value of the MPG, the true mean value of the DSP, the true mean value of HP, and the true mean value of WT. Of course, you know, when you are carrying out univariate hypothesis testing, okay, you normally say, oh, H naught mu equal to 10, okay, versus alternative mu not equal to 10. But in the case of a multivariate, okay, since you're going to have more than one variable, then you're going to have a vectors of hypothesized values. Okay, so I'm going to copy the vectors of the hypothesized value right now. Okay, uh, so but before I copy the vectors of the hypothesized value, I need to first need to copy what is my the vector mean. Okay, the vector mean is just like the sample. Okay, so just like the mean of each of these data set of these variables. Okay, now take a look at that. I call that x bar equal to column mean of x. Okay, so I'm going to write x bar now to be able to see my mean. Now take a look at this. This is the average. This is the sample mean, okay, of MPG. The sample mean of the sample mean of that, and the sample mean of that. Can you see that now? So these are the means that we compute from the empirical analysis of this data set right here. Can you see that now? Okay, now let me now go into my hypothesis right now. I'm actually using Ortelin T squared. Okay, I'm actually using Ortelin T squared. Okay, so I'm using Ortelin T squared. So I copy that. Okay, that's Ortelin T squared function. Okay, now I'm going to copy my final code now. So my final code, so I'm going to copy that right now in my final code. What I just need to specify is the vector of hypothesized values of means. Okay, you're going to see that right now. I'm going to copy that now. Can you see what I copy now? So the test is going to be t dot test x. You know, x is going to be your data. Okay, then the hypothesized value of mu. Then I'm actually going to click on enter. Oh, it's running right now. Let's see what it's going to give. Oh, can you see the p-value now? This is the t squared. This is the f statistics. These are the degree of freedom. Okay, and come and see right there. This is the p-value. Okay, this is the p-value associated with the test. Okay, and the p-value right here is 0.07. Okay, which is greater than 0.05. Okay, so here we're going to fail to reject the null hypothesis. Okay, here we're going to fail to reject the null hypothesis. Okay, so what I've walked you through right now is how to, you know, conduct multivariate tests of mean in R. Can you see that now? Is there anyone who want to ask question? Is there anyone who want to ask any question or who need clarification?
Well, could you say that again? That what does those numbers that I mean the 20, 200, 150, and 3? What are those means?
Oh, okay. Those are the hypothesized values. You know, if you want to carry out if you want to conduct an hypothesis testing in statistics, we normally like under univariate test. Okay, you normally test that. Okay, under the non-hypothesis, mu equal to a value. Okay, under the alternative, mu is not equal to a value. So these values here are hypothesized values, the values that you actually want to test. Okay, we always have values to test. Okay, so let me tell you something. Okay, what these values means in the context of what I just explained is just that, okay, if it is known that the true mean value of MPG is 20, okay, and the true mean of DISP displacement is 200, okay, and HP is 150, and speed is 3. Now, this one is something that we know even before collecting this data, okay? It's just like what has been before we collect data. What is the situation? What is the true average of this variable? Okay, now collecting the data set right now, we actually want to test whether situation has changed, whether this is no longer the means vector. Do you now understand that now?
Yes, that makes sense.
Okay, so that is actually what we want to test. You know, for those of you in biostatistics, okay, that you actually want to test, maybe for instance, you have variable like height, weight. Okay, let's take a look at this. Let's say we're talking about, let me use COVID-19 patient as a typical example. Okay, let's say we get some variables, okay, from the COVID-19 patient. Okay, now, of course, if you want to know, if a doctor wants to know whether you have succeeded in curing or the patient, okay, now what doctor normally do is to investigate some variables, some important variables, okay. Now, somebody without COVID-19, of course, we know the normal average for each of the variable, okay. The hypothesized value now, okay, the hypothesized value now may be the average of the respective variable, you know, for somebody without COVID-19. Okay, now if I have some patients that have COVID-19, let me assume that these are my patients, okay, and I now get this variable from my patient, okay. And you know, when you go to hospital, you're going to see every laboratory test that they run. Of course, there is a way to collect data, okay. Now, what we now want to see, if I got this from my patient, okay, on average, okay, I want to see whether the mean of each of the variable is significantly different from the mean of the variables associated with somebody that is COVID-19 free. Okay, so we got a lot that we can actually you know, multivariate test is you know, is very, very important because it is applicable in all areas of research where more than one variable is you know, where we're dealing with more than one variable at a time. Okay, so and what this guy is actually telling me here is that, you know, the non-hypothesis, in the non-hypothesis, okay, we are having that this is the value of the mean, okay. In the non-hypothesis, this is the value of the mean, okay. And in the alternative hypothesis, oh, somebody said, is it just me? The audio has broken. Is everyone hearing me now? Is everyone hearing me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Fine.
Oh, okay. Somebody said it's not hearing. Okay, I think maybe the person should adjust. Maybe it's audio or the mic or whatever. Okay, so what p-value is actually telling me now is that, okay, our mu naught, okay, if you look at this is like, okay, the vector of mu equal to this. Alternative is that the vector of mu is not equal to this, okay. And what the p-value is actually telling me now, since the p-value is greater than 0.05, what the p-value is telling me now is that we cannot reject this hypothesis, okay. We cannot. There's no sufficient evidence to reject, you know, this hypothesis, okay. What it's trying to say is that this hypothesis is true, okay, because the p-value is greater than 0.05, okay. Now that is that on it. The next thing I want to, so I'm going to stop my share right now. Okay, now gonna go back into we're gonna go back into the material. Okay, now I've been able to show you this right now. Okay, I've been able to show you that one. Okay, so you can see we've done that now. Okay, now the last thing I'm going to show you today, how do we compute the confidence interval? Okay, the confidence, you know, when you are dealing with the univariate testing, okay, well, we normally have a confidence interval. Okay, now here, since we are talking about vectors of mean, it's going to be called simultaneous t-square confidence interval. Okay, this is the code that you're actually going to write. Okay, the only thing you don't, you know, this is your code. If you look at this one, just the n is just n, the number of row of s, the p, okay, the x bar, the variance covariance. Can you see that now? Then this is going to be for the first, this is the interval for the first mean. You know, when you are in the mean vector, okay, the first one, this is the interval for that. Look at that. Look at what I specify, mu. Can you see that now? Can you see that? Then in the havoc here, in the first one has to be 1000. Why? Because 1 here means I'm considering the first element in the vector mean. Okay, I'm not considering the other one here. Okay, and this one is telling me, oh, I'm considering the second mean in the vector. Yeah, I'm considering the only third in the the third mean in the vector, and here I'm considering the last one. Do you see that now? So this is the code. Okay, and I'm actually going to copy this now, and I'm going to run the code for you. Okay, since I've already stated, I already have my x. Okay, and I've specified my mu. Okay, I specify my sigma is already here. I'm going to show you. You know, you can see that now. This is your x. They have already been specified. Can you see that now? Okay, so I'm actually going to copy that now. I'm going to copy that into R. Okay, so I'm going to stop the share right here, and I'm going to copy that into R. I'm going to share my R interface right now. Okay, so I'm going to copy that into R, you know, so that we can be able to see the something. You can copy everything, no problem. Or if you copy everything, I'm going to copy that into R right now. Okay, copy that now. Can you guys see that now?
Yes.
Okay, so what I'm trying to talk about is that if the mean is this, if the sample mean of MPG is this, okay, this guy right here is trying to tell us the interval, the confidence interval. Can you see that now? It's talking about. Then if for DSP, this is the confidence interval. For HP, this is the confidence interval. For this is the confidence interval. Okay, and you know what? You know, we fail to reject the non-hypothesis here, right? And let me tell you, do you know we can also use the idea of confidence interval to take a decision regarding the test of hypothesis? Do you know that? Now take a look at this guy. What is he telling us? Okay, what is the true value? The true value is 20, and 20 lies between 16 and 23. Okay, when the hypothesized value lies in the interval, you cannot reject the non-hypothesis. Look at that. If you look at this one now, the 20.0, whatever lies in this interval, or look at 200. 200 also lies in this interval. Look at 150. Oh, 150 lies in this interval. Look at 3 here. 3 lies in this interval. Therefore, there is an agreement between the confidence interval and the p-value right here. Can you see that now? Okay, so this is going to be the end of my lecture today. Is there anyone who want to ask question before I go today?
Professor, I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
So what does the t.ci mean again? Sorry, I was like, my internet was like keep broken, so like I dropped out for a while, for a bit.
Oh, okay. Okay. Did you say t.ci?
Yes.
Yeah, the t.ci means the confidence. This is ci means confidence interval. Okay. So the t here is just like, okay, we are using the idea of a t squared. Okay. So this is just a formula. Okay. So uh the mu, you specify your mu before. Okay. Your sigma has been specified, of course the n. Okay. And the half vec is just like, okay, I'm only considering in the mean vector here, I'm only considering the first one, 20. That's why you say 1. The other one is going to be 0, 0. Okay. This is the one for this second one. If I want to get the interval for this 200, then of course what I'm going to have is going to be 0, 1, 0, 0. Now this is the second one. It means I'm not considering the other one here. Okay. For the third one, okay, it's going to be this guy. And for the fourth one, it's actually going to be this. Okay. So these are code. Okay. The confidence interval code. Okay. For for obtaining the simultaneous confidence interval, for multivariables. Does that make sense to you now?
Yes. It's just is t.ci a built-in function?
Yeah, the t.ci is just it's a function. And let me tell you something. The t.ci here, you need to first specify. Let me stop my share. Maybe I'm going to show you something in the material so that you'll be able to understand what I'm talking about. Okay. Can you guys see what I'm projecting right now? Can you guys see it?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Look at that. This is a simultaneous t-square confidence interval in R. This is a formula. Okay. Now, why do I write this formula? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, because I have 4 variables. Okay. If I have 5 variables, the number of this thing is going to be 5. And if it is 5, this is going to change. This is going to be 1, 0, 0, 0, 0. Okay. It's going to be 0, 1, 0, 0, 0. Can you see that now? It's going to be extended. Okay. It's going to be extended this way. And it's also going to be extended, this way. Okay. So the reason why I have 1, 2, 3, 4 is just because I have 4 variables. Okay. If I have 5 variables, it's going to change. If I have 6 variables, it's going to change. Okay. So right here is my X bar. What is my X bar? Of course, the X bar in the data. Okay. If you go back to the data, that is the column means. Okay. Like I said, you need to first specify your X. Okay. My data set is Z. Okay. And this is the X bar. Okay. So when I do that, then I need to specify my S, which is the covariance matrix. I told you the other time, you need covariance matrix a lot when you are looking at when you are doing something under multivariate analysis. Okay, so this is the code. Do you get it now?
Yes. So
Okay.
I guess like I was actually asking, like, is this function like do I have to load a package for this, or I have to write like a define a t.ci to be able to call it, or it's like a given function in R?
Oh, what you said now is really making sense. You don't need to load a package for this. Okay. Even
Okay.
let me show you this. Even from here, you don't need any package. The only package that I load here is just to have access to my data set. Does that make sense to you?
Yes. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, you don't need any package at all.
Thank
And
you.
do you know why you don't need any package? Because we have already written a code function for the formula. Look at that. Can you see the code function for the formula? Okay. If you want to start, whether you want to do the hypothesis testing or you want to do simultaneous confidence interval, you need to first write this out. Okay. So this is coded from the formula. Okay. You don't need to load any package. Let me tell you something in statistics. When you load a package, okay, it's going to save you a lot of time. Okay. For formula. If when you load a package, it's going to save you a lot of time for formula. But if you don't want to load a package, then you need to code your formula. This is like coding my formula right here. Can you see now? And when I code this formula right here, then I think everything is going to be fine. Okay, I can do whatever I want to do. Okay, and that is the reason I know a lot of people they don't like going through something like this, writing something like this. But let me tell you something. It is not all the time that you can have a package readily available in R. Okay, and that is the reason why you also need to be able to know how to code a formula. Okay, so have I answered your question?
Yeah, thanks.
You're welcome. Okay, so I want to thank everyone for attending my lecture today. I hope you guys enjoying it. I'm going to be here again on Friday for another practical demonstration. So I will advise that you work on your in your feed. You can get data set in your feed. Okay, try and see how you can actually run what we have done before. I know in your field, whether you are in psychology, you are in sociology, you are in economics, you are in biostatistics, you are in statistics, you are in financial, whatever department, whatever discipline you are into. Okay, I actually, I believe we collect data sets on so many variables at a time. Okay, let us, you can try all what I've been walking you through, okay, with your data set. Okay, so and see what whether you'll be able to do that. It's something that is very, very easy. But I want to tell you that if you follow that to the core, you of course it's you're going to find it very easy to run. Arrow is very easy, though there are different kind of software that are also available that you can also use for this purpose. It's not only R, okay, because I also use Python, I use MATLAB, I use different kind of software, okay. But the reason why we're recommending R because of its simplicity, okay. So R, is very easy for students to grab, okay, and that's why we're using the R interface. So I want to thank everyone today for attending my lecture. I hope you guys enjoying it. I'm going to meet you again next Friday for another practical demonstration using the R software for multivariate analysis. Okay, so I want you to stay safe and have a good weekend. Bye, guys.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Thank you.
You're welcome.